Clan, and welcome to the Warriors Non-Gaming Geeky Zone. In today's installment of the Warriors Non-Gaming Geeky Zone, where we discuss non-gaming related geeky topics, we're going to be talking about, just give me one moment, I need to open my window because it's hot as hell in here. We're going to be talking about Marvel Phase 3 and their recent announcements. Other than that, sit down, stick around, and I hope you enjoy it. Play the intro, baby! Okay, so firstly, as I say, this is primarily going to be talking about the Marvel Phase 3 stuff. If you want to know my opinion on the DC stuff, go check out the previous Warriors Non-Gaming Geeky Zone I did with N7 Strider, where we talked for 3 hours about the entire cinematic universe of comic books. And I'm going to give my opinion on each of the movies and my ideas for them. Like, as I say, but my comic book knowledge is very limited. Most of my knowledge about Marvel superheroes comes from mostly the animated universe movies. So we're going to dive right into this. We're going to talk off with the first thing that was announced, and that is Captain America Serpent Society. Now, I actually don't know. Okay, I can't do it. We all know what it is. The first movie, which will be released on May 6th, 2016, is Captain America Civil War. Now, it's no secret that Marvel basically flat out told us that we're going to be having Civil War. And the next, and basically Avengers, basically with between the area between Avengers 2, no, it's Civil War's first, then Avengers 2. Never mind, I fucked up. But we're gonna have Civil War after the events of Age of Ultron, from what we've been getting. By the way, the trailer for Age of Ultron, especially the extended one with them trying to lift the hammer, is fucking hilarious. But yeah, the next one is going to be Civil War. Civil War is one of the biggest events that happened in the Marvel cinema and the Marvel comic universe. Now, the only problem with the cinematic Civil War is they're missing one crucial character, and that's Spider-Man. Spider-Man plays quite a crucial role in the Civil War comic books. Now, as if anyone hasn't read it or says, there's a minor spoiler here. This is where Spider-Man actually unmasks himself in the Civil War comics. Now, due to the main problem with the cinematic universe, however, is they don't have Spider-Man. The Sony still have a vice grip on the Spider-Man license, and they're not letting it go because it makes them money. In all honesty, I am really hoping that we are going to get Spider-Man back in the cinematic universe sooner rather than later, but it's a bit late now to get him involved in Civil War. Now, as I say, we don't know much about it yet. Like, what there is going to be we don't know to what extent how much they're going to be faithful to the Civil War storyline, because there is a lot that they could adapt and change. Because remember, the cinematic universe isn't the comic books; they can change as much as they want. It's based on them; it's their own licenses. They adapt to what would work in the movies than they would work in the comic books. So I'm very excited to see how this is going to be portrayed with Captain America versus Iron Man, especially after the events of Age of Ultron. So I'm very excited for this. And really want to see it. We're going to be seeing it from Captain America's point of view, and hopefully they do a Iron Man's point of view as well, because that is very crucial when it comes to Civil War, is the fact that we need to see both sides. You can't just see one side of an argument, because then you make biases. It's the same problem with Civil War. Now, I lucky enough read the paperback of Civil War, which had everyone's point of view. It had Iron Man, it had the pro-registration acts point of view, and the non-pro-registration acts. The non-registration, people who were against superhuman registrations. I had both points of view, and both points of view made very valid points. Neither side was wrong, and neither side was the villain. And I'm really hoping they actually try and do that in the cinematic universe, because that's something that they'll have to do if they want to get it just right. Fingers crossed they actually do that, because I'm really hoping they do, because I want that, in all honesty. So that's all I've really got to say on Civil War. Now, the next one that is coming out is one I'm highly anticipating. November 4th, 2016, we have the Sorcerer Supreme making his cinematic debut, Doctor Strange. I think it's Dr. Stephen Strange. Now, Dr. Stephen Strange was referenced in the previous Captain America movie, when Hydra took over. It was mentioned by one of the Hydra agents who we didn't know was a Hydra. No, that was actually a good twist. Now, for those who are unfamiliar with Doctor Strange, he is the Sorcerer Supreme. He's basically the magic guy of the Marvel Universe. He basically is all-powerful, to an extent. And he's a very interesting character, and it says, I'm very interested to see how they're going to portray him in the cinematic universe. I'm really excited for this. Now, right now, there is rumours gone about that Benedict Cumberbatch is going to play the Sorcerer Supreme. Now, nothing's been put down to pen to paper. I think we know that much. That he's not been confirmed as Doctor Strange, and I can happily say that I see him as Doctor Strange. I think he would do a good job. But Benedict Cumberbatch is a fantastic actor, even in Star Trek Into Darkness with the whole "it's secret." Which wasn't a secret, it was Khan. He did a good job. I enjoy watching Benedict Cumberbatch. I love the Sherlock TV series. I've loved him in every role I've ever seen him afterwards, even Smog. Now, of course, there is another actor who I think would be better as Dr. Stephen Strange, and that is Odeya Farr, I believe is how you pronounce his name. If you're unfamiliar with him, he plays the Magi in the Mummy movies, and he's also voice acted as... He was also Carlos in the Resident Evil movies, which, by the way, he was a badass motherfucker in that. If you don't think he could be an action star, just look at that. And the Mummies, of course. And, of course, he voiced Dr. Fate in the Justice League TV series and in the other stuff as well. He has previous experience being a superhero, and I think he'd be a great Doctor Strange, in my opinion. He's a great actor, very well promoted, and he has that voice, that mystical voice that makes you just believe, yeah, this guy knows magic. Benedict Cumberbatch, he doesn't have that voice, but I think he could still do a good job, so I'm okay with that. Now, I don't know too much about the Sorcerer Supreme himself. I only know from the Doctor Strange animated movie, which is very good in my opinion. I highly recommend it. And the Marvel Ultimate Alliance video games, where it gives you a little insight into him. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how they're going to adapt magic into this world, because that's the one element of the Marvel Cinematic Universe that we haven't actually seen. We haven't seen magic, and I'm very interested to see how they're going to be doing that. It's also going to be fun to see Iron Man's interaction. I hope they get a good scene with that. But what they're ever going to do with Doctor Strange, all I can say is I'm really hopeful. And the thing is, though, he's in New York. His headquarters is in New York, so we're going to have New York there, so I was very, very happy. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to do that, and who his main villain is going to be, because his main villain... Well, that's going to be quite interesting if they introduce him into the world. I don't want to spoil who it is. But I'm very excited for Doctor Strange. And of course, we've got the other one, which is coming out May 5th, 2017. And that is Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Let's face it, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is fantastic. It's my second favourite Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it was the underdog. No one thought that this would succeed. And what did they do? They knocked it right out of the fucking park. And it went fucking miles. It went continent. It went an intercontinental. It went. It is basically, I think it's the second highest grossing Marvel Cinematic Universe Marvel movie of all time. And I don't fucking blame it. It's an amazing film. Great characters, great development. I love it. It's definitely up there with the best movies. One of the best movies I've seen in my life. And Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I'm very excited to see what they're going to be doing with that. Hopefully they do. We all know the returning cast is going to be back, and we do know that apparently James Gunn has been confirmed to be doing it. So I'm very happy. I hope he does a good job, and I can't wait to hear Awesome Mix Volume 2, baby. Because the Awesome Mix Volume 1 was cooked on a feeling, baby. I love that. I actually bought that, I'm not going to lie. I'm actually thinking about buying the cassette tape that's going to be sold with the movie when it comes out on DVD. I can't wait. But yeah, very excited for Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Who's going to be the main villain? I haven't got a clue. We'll have to wait and see. And hopefully, as I say, it's entertaining, and hopefully it'll just be good, just as good. And now the next film we have installed is Thor Ragnarok. Now, I don't know too much about the Thor comic books. I'm only just picking up the new Thor, which is the female Thor. And I'm going to say this right now. The first thing that pops in my head with Ragnarok is... if you're unfamiliar with Norse mythology, Ragnarok's basically the time when Odin dies. Odin dies, world ends. That's how it works. And the way it's coming across like this is some people are speculating that it's actually going to be the cyborg version of Thor, which makes sense with the Age of Ultron and cyborgs and all that. Apparently there's a cyborg Thor called Ragnarok, which I'm very interested to see how they can do that. Minor spoiler here for Civil War. In the Civil War comic books, there is actually an animatronic Thor going about who kills someone. Yeah. So, I don't know how they're going to do that. Very excited. I love the Thor movies. I like Thor 1, I like Thor 2, and Thor Ragnarok. Going to be interested to see how they're going to be doing that. So, not much to say on that. And of course, we have the penultimate debut of Black Panther on November 3rd, 2017. And now the actor has been announced from. I just cannot remember his name. I do apologize for it, but he is a good actor. I do know that much. I think I've only seen him once or twice, but he is a good actor apparently. Black Panther, it's going to be very interesting to see how they're going to be portraying him and bringing him into the cinematic universe, especially since the fact that he is from Uganda, I believe it is. And he's basically the king of Uganda. No, he is the king of Uganda. And the main reason Uganda is such an important area in the Marvel Universe, a minor spoiler alert, it contains a vibranium mine. That's the word. A vibranium mine. If you're not sure what vibranium is, it's the material Captain America's shield's made from. The way it works is you can hit that thing until the cows come home. It just disperses it and vibrates it right off there. It's virtually indestructible. It's probably just as tough as adamantium in the Marvel Universe. So it'll be interesting to them introducing this with that technology. And that's why the Wagandans have always been a very independent nation in the Marvel Universe, is the fact that they have vibranium and the guns just boom, 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 boom. Now, if you don't know, vibranium is extremely difficult to deal with. I don't want to spoil too much. I only know from the Black Panther animated movie and also his various other debuts in this animated universe. That's how much I know about him. I don't know much else beyond that. But I definitely am excited to see Black Panther make his debut. So that'll be very interesting to see how that comes along. And of course, we have, drumroll please, on, I just closed that, July 6th, 2018, we have Captain Marvel. A-okay with me. Now, right now, like I said, there's actually a debate going on right now which Captain Marvel there's going to be, because there are multiple Captain Marvels, or there have been. The main one that everyone's hoping it's going to be is the female Captain Marvel. I believe her name's Carol something. I'm horrible with their secret identity, who is actually the previous Miss Marvel. Now, Miss Marvel hasn't made her cinematic debut yet, so they might just introduce her as Captain Marvel, which I'm okay with that in all honesty, because let's face it, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, for the majority of it, is a big sausage fest. There hasn't been a lead cinematic universe movie, singular movie about a female superhero with Marvel yet. Black Widow was supposed to get her own one, supposedly. I don't know if that's still going to happen. I really do hope it was, and if it is going to happen, Joss Whedon, please write it and direct it, because you know how to do female characters right. Now, I don't know too much about Captain Marvel personally. The only stuff I know about Captain Marvel is the Shazam Captain Marvel from DC. This Captain Marvel I don't know too much about, but if it is the Miss Marvel version of Captain Marvel, I'm okay with that, because we really do need more strong female superheroes out there, because, don't get me wrong, I love my Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I need to see one of the big female names to come out and just come out swinging. And if Marvel do this right, it could be absolutely fantastic. I'm a little disappointed we aren't going to get Shazam versus Captain Marvel, like releasing those like roughly the same week or same year. That would be amazing. I'd fucking piss myself laughing at what would happen. But yeah, I absolutely love it. I am excited for Captain Marvel. It should be interesting to see how they portray it, and also how it ties into the events after the third Avengers film, which we'll get to in a minute. But I'm very excited for this. I'm excited for all of these, but that's very good. Now, Captain Marvel, I'm hoping it's the female Captain Marvel, because I don't know too much about her. I do know she's the previous Miss Marvel, but that's all I say. And by the way, anyone who's wondering who the previous actresses who have played Miss Marvel's only been in the animated universe to my knowledge, but she's been voiced by Jennifer Hale. Yes, Commander Shepard voiced her. And there's a very interesting story with her in particular and the X-Men Rogue. Rogue is actually the one X-Men who has quite a connection with Miss Marvel, especially if it is the Miss Marvel Captain Marvel, and the fact that Rogue's the reason that she has her powers. Basically, she drained Miss Marvel to the point of near death and got strength, flight, and pretty damn tough. So I'm going to hopefully, guys, and that actually ties into the next film that's going to be released, and that is Inhumans on November 2nd, 2018. Now, I don't know too much about the Inhumans personally. I know what I know of them comes from the Fantastic Four animated TV series that I think was in the late 80s, early 90s. You know the one with the tune was the Reed Richards is elastic, Johnny is the human touch, You can I think it's disappear from. I'm sorry, I can't remember the song, but it was a very catchy theme song. If you haven't heard of it, go listen to it. Just type in animated Fantastic Four theme song. It's awesome. And if anyone wondered what that was, I have water here and I actually need to take some because my throat's getting all parched. But the Inhumans, to what I've been able to gather, are very similar to the X-Men in that they are human beings who have mutations, basically. And I think this is the cinematic answer to them not having the X-Men, because the Inhumans are actually taking over where the X-Men were in the comic books as well, due to the fact that Marvel have decided to no longer support the X-Men franchise of movies because they want their license back, so they're not going to release the comics or something along those lines. Same with Spider-Man. And I'm very interested to see how they're going to be doing that with the Inhumans. Now, the only Inhumans I know of is Medusa, who has a long red hair that she can use as a weapon. Black Bolt, who is so powerful that even if he speaks, he can destroy an entire city. And people want Vin Diesel to play him. I'm okay with that. Now, as I said, I don't know too much about the Inhumans, but I'm definitely thinking this is Marvel's answer to them not being able to have the X-Men in it. So I wouldn't be surprised as if in the cinematic universe, Wolverine, Rogue, and all that turned out to be Inhumans instead of X-Men, because Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are making their debut in the next Age of Ultron, and they are mutants. They're not Inhumans, even though Inhumans and mutants are very similar. So I think that's how they're going to solve that problem, is to say that those aren't mutants, those are Inhumans, and that'll tie into the Inhumans movie, and we'll get introduced to all these new Inhuman characters. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some familiar faces from the X-Men franchise coming into the cinematic universe as Inhumans instead of the X-Men. It makes sense to me, in my opinion. If I was doing it, I said, look, we can't have X-Men. I go, well, why don't we just have Inhumans? And this is going to be very similar to Guardians of the Galaxy in a way that it's a risk, but Marvel take risks. And in all honesty, I have complete faith in Marvel. I will be going to see every single one of these movies in the cinema because I have faith in them. And all I can say is, and they're winding up the fences, they're getting ready, and they're going to hit another home run with Inhumans, I think, depending on how they portray it and how they come to show them off in the cinematic universe. As is, Marvel have always been quite good and well at introducing characters throughout the series, giving subtle little references to them throughout the other movies. Like, I do believe that we will get some reference to the Inhumans in Age of Ultron and the other Marvel movies. I pretty much guarantee we'll get references, and we'll at least get an appearance of them, at least a little sneak peek. At least that's what I'm hoping. And now we move on to the last movie that was announced, and that is Avengers: The Infinity War, Part 1, May 2018, Part 2, May 2019. Now, before I go into this, actually, I have to say right now, this is the order in which all of these movies are coming out. We have Captain America Civil War, Guardians of the Galaxy, Black Panther, and Captain Marvel. Those four come first, and then it's Avengers Infinity War. Literally, that's the next film. No, wait, I fucked up. Sorry. It goes Captain America Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Thor, Black Panther, Avengers Infinity Wars Part 1, then Captain Marvel, Inhumans, and then Infinity War Part 2. Now, so we have two movies that are in between. Wait a minute, did I fuck this up again? I think I might have fucked up again. 16, 16, 17, 17, 17... No, I didn't fuck it up. Okay, never mind. So the way it works is the Infinity Wars is going to be where we're going to see Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet. Now, I do not know too much about Thanos personally or the Infinity Gauntlet. I'm not a big comic book geek, but holy shit, I can't wait. And the way that this is working, all the films I mentioned at the start are the ones coming out before Avengers Infinity Wars Part 1. So this is going to be the build-up to Avengers Infinity Wars, from Captain America Civil War to Black Panther. This is going to be the build-up to it. And with all the stuff there, especially Guardians of the Galaxy 2, because Guardians of the Galaxy 1 heavily led into Age of Ultron, and it heavily leads into Thanos. It very much deals with him as he's the major threat in the galaxy. It's Guardians of the Galaxy. So I think Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is where we're going to see Thanos again, probably the next time, if not in Avengers 2, Ultron, even if it's just a sneak peek. And I like this about it, they're building up to it. And then we have 2 movies in between Avengers Age of Infinity Wars Part 1 and Part 2, and that's Captain Marvel and Inhumans. Now, I do not know. Now, this is where the fact that the lot of theory crafting coming behind the fact that it's going to be the female Captain Marvel is because Miss Marvel, now, I think it depends on your version of her, but the one I know of gains her powers after an invasion on Earth from a Skrull, I think. Is it a Skrull or a Kree? It's one, I think it's a Kree. And with the Infinity War coming up, I think that's where Miss Marvel is actually, where Captain Marvel is going to make her appearance in, and then this is where we'll first see her in Infinity Wars Part 1, or we'll see her before then, and then we'll move into Captain Marvel, which is possibly going to be the female one. Now, if it's the male one, I have no problem with that. Personally, I have no problem with that. It's a bit disappointing, but I don't have an overall major, I'm not angry about it. All I care about is about that it's going to be good, hopefully. And now that's where the credence is leading into being Miss Marvel instead of like the other Marvel, Captain Marvel. So I'm hoping there is that. And of course, with Captain Marvel and Inhumans being between there is a speculation that the story is going to continue in those 2 films, leading into Avengers 3, Infinity Wars Part 2. And that is fucking awesome because Marvel have been very good at that. So these 2 movies are going to take place during the Infinity War, which is going to be absolutely glorious. And I can't wait to see it. I'm very excited to see how they're going to pull this off and actually do it. Marvel, let's face it, they've kicked fucking arse, and look at what DC did recently. They announced their entire lineup on a website. And they were like, it was like a boxing match where Marvel were just like, yeah. The Age of Ultron trailer. No, so it starts off with DC. DC was coming in like that. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Here's our lineup. Boom. Here's our lineup again. Boom. Here's our lineup. Here's a couple of cast announcements. Boom, boom. Double whammy. And Marvel just like, but what did they do? They came out swinging with a right hook, going Age of Ultron trailer, bitches. Boom. And then they held an event to announce their trailer, all their movie lineup, which basically just blew DC's out of the water. And then came the left-hand knockout blow. BAM! DC knocked out on the floor for a 10 count. And then the little kick in the gut afterwards, for the extended Age of Ultron trailer. I'm sorry, Marvel are kicking DC's ass when it comes to movies. Their movie lineup DC wants, I'm excited for it. I'm probably still going to go and see them. But Marvel have just blown them out of the fucking water with all this announcement, and Marvel have just knocked out and laid them on the bloody floor. There's no ifs, buts, or what's about it. I'm sorry. Marvel kick ass in the movie franchise, at least. They've done the best. They're doing what they're doing good, and I give them major props for that. I got to give them props for doing what they do. I love this Marvel Cinematic Universe. I can't wait to see these movies. I'm very excited to see how they're going to do this. And I'm still holding out hope that Sony wise up and give the license back to Marvel, or at least come up with some form of agreement in which they can use the Spider-Man character in the movieverse. I really want to see Spider-Man make his debut in the cinematic universe. That's at least my hopes, but as it says, that's merely mine. I'm very disappointed if he doesn't, but what can we do? Other than that, that's there. So I'm going to ask you as Clan, what do you think? Who's winning this argument? Who's kicking arse? What do you think of this? And of course, what movie of the lineup from the Marvel Cinematic Universe are you most excited for? If I'm going to be honest, with this lineup, the one I'm most excited for is, I'm going to be honest, is Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and Captain Marvel. I actually can't choose. I'm excited for them all. I want to see them all. I'm sorry, all these are awesome. I'm sorry. I get excited. But yeah, I think I'll wrap up there. So thank you for watching. I hope I didn't freak out too many people by my random spieling. Other than that, I thank you for watching. As always, I'm Scottish Warrior 92, and I can't wait to see you next time on the next installment of the Warriors Non-Gaming Geeky Zone. Ciao for now. Mwah. Hey there, thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, regardless of whatever the video topic was about, because I know I'm a complete out of tit sometimes. If you want to check out any of my other further content, all you have to do is click on the little Scottish 192 thing down the bottom there to take you to the channel and check out the rest of my videos. If you want to follow me on any of my social medias, it's just Scottish Warrior 92 everywhere else. And also, if you want to help support the channel, all you have to do is pop in the link in the description to my Patreon page, patreon.com/Scottish Warrior 92, in which if you feel like my content is worth it, you can donate $1 a month to help continue to support this channel and help me make this into a full-time gig. Feel free to go check out the Patreon page to make sure it is to your liking and you actually want to spend $1 a month on this shitty channel. Thank you for watching. Again, as always, I am Scottish Warrior 92, and I hope you'll stick around and may even join the clan by clicking that subscribe button. Thank you. Mwah.